What's your name?
Bobo. I'm from the Soweto Electricity Crisis Committee, and I'm here to give solidarity support towards the migrants or our African brothers who were slaughtered like cows in KZN, and I truly condemned what is happening here in South Africa because we believe in the Rainbow Nation.
And what are the causes of it?
The causes could be economy, or maybe the thing is, you know, how people are. They said foreign people or migrants are taking their jobs, hence they are sitting at home. You know, I think at least if the government could do something about it, you know, hire more people, and the idea of promising people the El Dorado of saying he will create 5,000 jobs, and no one is working recently at the present moment. But I think now the thing that causes xenophobic attack, it's because of failure to the government prior to its own people.
But they don't really want to fight the big capitalists, do they? Big multinationals and big capital who own South Africa. Isn't that the case?
I think now it's about time for South Africans to realize that we need at least to fight the Anglo-American, since we've seen what happened to the Marikana massacre in the past 2 years. And the capitalist system won't stop unless the working class unite and fight against the capitalist system.
And why hasn't the Marikana report been released?
I'm not quite clear sure about that, but what I know is that, you know, all the foreign countries are being exploited by the Americans, you know, like South Africa, for instance. You know, a lot of American companies are here in South Africa. You can count McDonald's, Coke, Motorola. So I think people should stop supporting Americans.
My name is Jean-Pierre Lukamba. I'm from the DRC. Actually, xenophobia, there's many factors. The first one is the crisis of African identity in South Africa. That's what I mean, some South Africans are thinking that they are not African. The second one is the socio-economic condition. You know, when people are not working, no, they are not moving around, they can do anything. And the third one is also the issue of impunity. Because when, you know, xenophobia happened in a big scale in 2008, and up to now, we don't know who are the perpetrators, who was arrested, who have done what, we don't know. And other people are taking the chance because they can see that migrants are not well protected in South Africa. And the fourth one is the issue of immigration system. It's very corrupt and is exposing many migrants. And now the South Africans are thinking that many migrants are illegal, which is not the case.
How is corruption? Who's corrupt?
Actually, some officials from the government. They are very corrupt, and now they are not delivering to what they promised to the community. And we are used now as a scapegoat to cover up those failures.
Have social conditions deteriorated in South Africa under the government?
No, actually there's some effort made by the current government since 1994, but many things supposed to be done, like the issue of social cohesion, the issue of to improve the level of the knowledge of being South African. Because without education, you can do nothing.
With the violence and xenophobia against our African sisters and brothers and our brothers and sisters from Asia or anywhere else who are living in our country, Jikelele, Ikaya, South Africa. They are at home here, and comrades, we will not call them foreigners at all. They are our fellow sisters and brothers, and we rise here in solidarity and in unity and in action to stand by them and with them, for an injury to one is an injury to all. I just want to ask two questions, key questions for us. The first is, why is this happening? And I want to say, it is not happening because of the media. It is not happening because a photographer took a picture of the killing of Elias Sithole in Alexander, or because a reporter wrote a critique of a monarch. It is not happening because of a third force that some people are saying. It is not happening because one boss in a Durban factory replaced workers, South African workers, with nationals from abroad. That's one case. It shouldn't happen, but that's up to government to prevent with our laws, to protect workers wherever they've come from. Comrades, we must be clear. Our country faces a problem, which is an international, a global problem. And why? In Malta today, they are burying up to 1,000 faceless victims from Syria and Africa who drowned at sea. Because capitalism, the 1% ruling the world and ruining the world and ruining the economies, especially the fragile ones of Africa and Asia, and in our own economy too, are forcing people to try and find shelter and employment. The reason for the problems is capital, and it will get worse until the people of the world take destiny in our hands with a working class and the majority of our people who want democracy all over the world, and find a way for a better world order and a better economic order in our country. The poor everywhere, the marginalized everywhere, in conditions of grounded down poverty, will lash out in any way. They need leadership. They need organization. That is what has been lacking and what is needed in our country, and why we hail the present here of the Premier of Gauteng and some of his people who continuously have shown some sanity in some way. But comrades, this great gathering in our march today, and those at the universities yesterday and in United Front, I'm not saying we're the only ones. We all are. The way ahead is to form this unity of us all. Down with xenophobia, down. Viva solidarity, viva!
Okay, over to you. Just.
Our brothers and sisters our continent. Our enemy is the unemployment crisis that have enslaved 60% of our young people. That's our enemy. Our enemy are those who rejoice and take advantage of the fact that they know 8.1 million South Africans are unemployed, and they play those unemployed against the other equally disparate brothers and sisters running away from hunger and desperation from their own countries. From now on, we will unite as workers against our real enemies. Our enemies are those who are playing workers against each other, who dismisses other workers today in order to employ workers from elsewhere today in order to create divisions. Those are the enemies of the workers. We are here to unite against them. We will continue to march from now on, city, workplace to every workplace, to ensure that the employers do not take advantage of our desperation, whether we are from South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, or anywhere else in the African continent. We want peace amongst workers.
What's your name?
My name is Flora from Tokwesa Prison.
From where?
Tokwesa Prison, Posh Street. I'm here because of xenophobia. I don't like this. We are one family, one people. We created by God.
And do you think the government is responsible in part for what's happening?
Yeah, I think the government is responsible because they are not fair for each other. Even though they serve in the parliament, they fight to each other. They don't build South Africa, they destroy South Africa.
How are they destroying South Africa?
Because they want the money for themselves. They don't want people to be together the way the manifesto says. They wrote the manifesto, but they don't do the things in manifesto. They must put the people together. Together you unite.
My name is Johanessburg. We are here today because we are against xenophobia. Each and every day we see our foreigners in their shops, their properties being stolen, of which we don't support that. We support workers. We are a union who want to unite with the community of South Africa so that we must respect our foreign homeboys and foreign home girls. So we say no to xenophobia. Really, because these people right now, they have changed their life. They are no longer criminals. They are selling things cheap to us, of which we save money by them. So once we don't need them in our country, of which we are going to spend more. We like them, we love them.
And what is NUMSA? Is NUMSA saying the same thing?
NUMSA right now have a new movement, which is United Front, of which they have included community. Firstly, it was only for workers. Community were separated, but the United Front is one thing which support each and everything that the community does for promoting our economy. That's why we are supporting today, stopping the xenophobia. It's because we want each and every human being in South Africa to have their own business, and a business must not be disturbed by anything.
So you don't think President Zuma is doing what he should be doing?
But he's not doing well. He's not doing well because the xenophobia have been since started on January, but he just speak last week. He's been wasting a time for a long time before. Most people have been killed. If he could have started exactly with them as from January, it could not be worse as today.